So, welcome to the Metal Institute of Thrashology. Thank you for taking the time with me today.
No problem, man. We're excited to be here.
Yeah, and congratulations on your EP. What was it, 2 weeks ago? Inured To Chaos? It's awesome EP. And it's great to see you from one single and then another single to a full on EP so quickly. Tell me about it. I'm so excited for you guys.
Yeah, to start off, Inured to Chaos, um, it was a very long process. We basically worked through Christmas night. Anytime we had off, we just worked diligently. Me and Barry are the founding members of this project. And then eventually Nevsky, Skema, and Izzy Hendricks joined us along the way. Um, well, we whatever we were feeling at the time, we just tried to make um I guess an audio, I don't know
Roller
what,
coaster.
yeah, something
Yeah,
like that.
it's like a lot of inspirations like from the past and everything. Like I've worked on some music before, and I had this old buddy Tom that helped me like learn how to like really, like I guess kind of jam out and just come up with riffs on the spot. That's kind of where most of our riffs come from. Like we should have a riff that has this vibe, and then we'll just mess around, do all that, lay down the guitar, lay down drums, bass, and everything, and then he writes his genius lyrics, and he just puts it over it. And
Yeah,
it's usually the writing process for us is actually pretty quick. It's the production and everything that takes
takes
a long
forever.
time.
Yeah, we try to be very tedious with our production process.
And we do everything
Yeah,
ourselves.
we do everything ourselves. We're a DIY band. um I just, whatever we were feeling at the time, I was trying to bring that to life in an audio format. And basically my end goal is to basically connect with my listeners and our fans, and basically put it in the perspective of someone that's going through the same experiences. But training characteristics was basically about basically going through an affair, um, in a perspective of both sides. It's not like shifting blame at all. That song is completely neutral. It's hearing from both sides. And Pensive Eyes is basically about dealing with a psychosis, someone that needs help and won't admit it until it's like too late and they've lost it all. So I basically tried to put it from experiences that I've experienced, things that I've seen go on in other people's lives. And I think it needs to be talked about more, mental health for sure.
Oh, I agree. And it's funny you say that. I just went to a show a couple days ago, a Frozen Soul show, and they were mentioning the same things about how mental health is such an important role in life, and I completely agree. And I think both your listeners and my viewers would agree too. So it's awesome to hear it. But from a musical standpoint, it seems like a roller coaster, which like it would be the same, I guess, emotion wise too.
Oh
Um,
yeah.
you guys kind of weave in and out of like thrash to melodic death to atmospherics to deathcore to all over, and it's kind of hard to pin a label on you guys. So tell me where you guys draw inspiration from.
That's a really good question. uh,
Yeah.
we're all nerds when it comes to music. I'm a nerd as much as the next person when it comes to my my art. Um, I guess where I pull inspiration from the most, ever since I was a kid, I was in Slipknot cover bands. So Slipknot's a very big one. I got into metal by listening to Disturbed. I owe so much of my musical taste to those guys. Shout out to them. Um, and then mostly Carnifex. I love Scott Lewis as a vocalist. He's a genius. And I just try to take everything that I hear and try to make my own version of it. And I feel like that's where most of my inspiration comes from.
Great range on the vocals. I mean, you can really hit like some high rasps and like some very low guttural growls. Sound like you're reaching down into hell. It's
I
nice. Yeah.
That's
So
the biggest compliment ever.
yeah,
Actually,
so it's really nice just to see you run the spectrum. And like I think it's Izzy. Are you the guitarist?
One of them. Barry also
yeah,
does. He did a majority
right
of the
here.
guitars on this project. They brought me on towards the end of it, and they were kind of like, "Hey, man, we got this project for the most part wrapped up, but we have some parts where we need some shred going on." And we don't really know what to do here. And I heard him and I was like, all right, say less on my beer. And
Yeah, pretty much.
we got to work, you know, and it was honestly, it was a really cool experience, you know, just having to come in at like last on the tail end of it and just hit a really, really clutch shot to just wrap a bow on it and then piece everything together that way. So yeah, it was fun.
Sure. And
What about
tell me about your contributions on the guitars. I mean, both of them, it just was amazing, amazing guitar work. And I'm like trying to learn guitar now, and I'm completely horrible at it. And so it's really nice to see somebody who can just weave in and out just so fluidly and
both of
like
these
all
guys?
over the album. Just in one song of Betraying Characteristics was just like from metalcore to melodic death, and it was just amazing for a debut song.
Yeah.
You know, interestingly enough, me and this guy over here, one of our biggest inspirations we realized recently is actually Tool. And so it's like, it's weird that but it actually does translate into my playing. A lot of my note choices are kind of similar to what like Tool would do. I just do it in a deathcore context because he also changed the way that I play guitar. Every time I meet somebody new, my style changes just a little bit, and I just kind of adds my arsenal, and it makes a lot of interesting riffs.
Yeah,
But
but it made for an interesting listen. I'll give you that.
thank you.
I'd say we're definitely we try to stay away from just deathcore. We feel like um a lot of it sounds the same these days. We're just trying to add our own little mix into it. I guess the best way to put it is deathcore in itself is an alternative subgenre, but we like to call ourselves alternative deathcore in a way. Um, but we basically try to add so much influences into it that it doesn't even sound like just deathcore anymore. But that's exactly what we're going for. We're not just a deathcore band. You know, we're literally trying to change and break some of these stereotypes out here so that our music is not as predictable.
Yeah, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
I've also noticed that like as we've been writing songs, some of the songs on the EP like Shackled by Fear and I'll Leave Alone, they are kind of starting to have more of a solidified sound. So it's like
Yep.
it's slowly but surely it is starting. We're mixing all these genres and they're all kind of blending together. So I think eventually somewhere down the line we are going to have our own unique sound just from all these genres blending together, whether it comes to synths that we use or blending riffs, drum beats, like anything like that. So I think we're definitely slowly but surely finding our own unique sound.
Oh, for sure.
No, with drum beats, are you guys gonna looking for a drummer, or are you gonna stick with the programming? I notice
We
like more and more bands are doing the programming now for drums and bass.
we don't want to take away from the the beautiful art of percussion. We do have a drummer. He's just a very busy guy. Shout out to Aiden of More Death. He's a very hardworking individual. Um, he's definitely going to be hopping on here with us soon on stage, but we're definitely trying to take advantage of the technological aspects of things. You got to work with the tools that you're given. No judgments to those that use it as well, because as we're doing, we got to do what we got do with
Oh,
what we
completely understand. I noticed even on social media, just everybody screaming like we need drummers. And I guess it's very, very hard right now to find, a drummer and then have to narrow it in to fit in with every type of sound that you guys have. It's not like you're just looking for, hey, you guys just do death, but
have.
you have to go with like melodic and
Wow.
there's a lot going on.
Aiden sure has some huge shoes to fill, but I have complete faith that he's gonna do awesome.
Yeah, I actually learned drums just so I could start making music and like for this project and everything. So uh all some of our drums are project and then but I would say the majority of them they're just like me getting on the kit, but I'm not like that good of a drummer, so like a few notes are moved around because I'm not that great, but
He's
I
really
did
good.
good enough.
He's good.
Cut yourself some slack, man. I mean,
I feel like he's good.
I mean, social media kind of has us twisted a little bit, and us thinking
Mhm.
that there's like this massive amount of like vocalists out there that have these amazing vocals, or drummers out there that have nice blast beats, or guitarists that can, you know, slap, shred, and sweep and do all this crazy stuff. But the reality is there isn't that many guys out there that can do it. It's just social media puts them in your face. I mean,
Mhm.
think about how many people you meet in real life that can do that versus how many people you see on your screen because of algorithms. It's like maybe like one out of every like 10,000 people. So I mean, cut yourself a little bit of slack, bro. You know?
Yeah, I guess.
But I just went to a tour. I think it was Chaos and Carnage, and there was I think 7 bands or 8 bands on the bill, and I think like 2 or 3 of those bands had no bassist or drummers, and it was just so different to see a band live. It was the first time I saw a band live without it, and then I saw like, wow, you know, like it works. If that's what you have to do because you can't find what fits your need, it works.
Yeah. I mean, there's a difference between like cutting corners because you're being lazy and then just working within your means. And then when you get more tools, like using those tools. So like you said, man, as long as the energy's good, as long as, you know, people are still taking their craft serious, it works on stage. It's fine, you know.
Yeah. I tell you what, I watched your video. I think you guys posted yesterday, your debut show.
Oh yeah, I posted that this morning.
Yeah, yeah. Awesome set. And it's really nice to, you know, like I remember working with you right about when you were releasing Betraying Characteristics. So to see you guys like on stage now, it's like it's a pretty cool experience. Tell me about it.
Oh man, when it comes to our debut set, I was totally nervous. I had complete confidence that these guys had my back, you know,
Yeah.
through it all. They definitely did.
Well,
The funny part about it, I couldn't hear a goddamn thing.
So-
I couldn't hear nothing.
we did it really weird. So we didn't have a drummer, so we put the PAs in the area where the drummer would be.
Yeah.
And we put the drums and the bass behind us, and then guitars, vocals, synth in front of us.
Yep.
That was a huge mistake because we could only hear drums and bass the entire time.
Yep. I was
Like
going
it's
completely
blaring
off
in our
drums.
ears, and then we can't hear anything in the front. The sound guy's just like, "Yo, the bass and the drums need to be turned way up."
Yep.
So while I'm playing the guitar, I have to go down to our mixer and turn our drums and bass up, and it ended up being okay. But
Yeah.
man, we couldn't hear anything.
Yeah.
And then
I could hear him a little bit.
our click in our in-ear monitors wasn't working, so
Mhm.
we
Oh man.
we have a lot of stops, a lot of moments of silence where it's like just bass or something. So it's the whole time it was a guessing game, but I think it turned out okay.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it even sounded like the recording too.
It was an interesting experience.
Oh no, I'm just laughing at like how like he was like, oh, I'm looking at him the whole time, like the whole night. And I'm just like, bro, you good? And he's like, I'm like, oh no. But it ended up being a great time. It was just funny. That's
Yeah.
yeah.
I was trying to listen for him and I heard a click and I yell out to the crowd, like, is this out here? And they're like, yeah. And I'm just like, fuck.
But it's cool when you have these moments though, where it's like you don't take yourself too seriously. You get the crowd involved, and you kind of make it a joke because then they like you said, they feel involved, and they're like, oh, we're all having a good time. This is more intimate, and they can have some sort of ownership in the music, and it encourages them to come back. And then they're like, oh, even though this stuff happened, I still had a great time, and the music was still good. And they bring more people, and that's how you just build, I guess, a tight knit fan base. So it's,
I think it worked out in our favor. All the mistakes.
yeah, it did work out.
Yep.
Well, definitely. And sometimes I'm sure, like, you know, excuse me, I was outside all day today swimming with my kids. So my voice is all raspy from the allergies. So I apologize. But
Sure.
I was talking to some bands and they were saying that they would experiment from where they would put their drum kit, whether it would be, you know, to the stage left, stage right, up front, behind, and depending on what the drummer could or could not see. And so it might actually work out where you discover like having the PA at a certain spot for you guys might actually be you know, something beneficial.
Yeah,
Yeah, potentially.
also another option we had was just to get a couple more, do drums and bass through those, and then put the other ones like right next to us so we can still hear them. Just get a couple more for guitars and vocals. Maybe just do it like that. and then we'll put synths at the front of the house. There's a lot of options, but yeah, we could definitely experiment with where to put PAs. I know there's this band out in LA that actually has a drummer on stage and a drummer in the pit. They just stick him there, and so there's two drummers playing for the same band. Like, we can't even find one. These guys found two.
Yeah, you guys should work out some sort of deal.
Yo, I'm gonna need to see a video of that because I'm trying to think of the coordination behind that.
Yeah.
How would you keep time to two different drummers?
I don't know.
I mean,
like,
that would take
both,
a lot of so much practice.
I mean, if everybody's on a click and they're locked in tight,
Yeah.
you know what I mean? Like it's the same as playing to one, really, unless they're doing some crazy like polyrhythm crap. And then at that point, I don't know.
Cool.
But
that'd be so cool, though. That'd be awesome.
I don't know. I think that would be very difficult. I can't even keep time to a metronome. But I don't know. Whatever you guys did, it worked for you on the live show. So now that you got an EP out, are you guys working towards a full length, or are you looking at a tour maybe?
Yeah, we have so much in store. So little time though. Something big is coming for sure. I'm not gonna go on a whim of what, but you can expect to see a lot more of us real soon here. We're just
Great.
We just have to be very careful of how we spend our time coming up. We want to make sure that it's worth it for the fans and for the viewers. And I'm really working to get better and to learn as much as I can so that I could bring something new to the table, even going forward each new project we introduce in the future.
It looks like if you were to like paint a picture, it looks like you have a lot of different brushes you guys could choose from though. I mean, like it's really nice, just like you guys said earlier, you're just not your average deathcore band, just strumming on a 45 string guitar, 000. Like sometimes it gets to be a bit much,
I feel like there's a lot of shock value. Like deathcore these days is just based around like, oh, how deep was that note, and like, what was that sort of breakdown? Like, oh, it sounded like this animal in the zoo, but outside of that, it lacks a lot of substance overall as a genre. So
it does. It's losing it over time.
Yeah,
it is.
Drummers are getting so good, it kind of doesn't. It's starting to lose its like human value. Doesn't sound musical anymore sometimes, but I still like the fast drums, but I definitely prefer a little bit of mistakes in there.
Yeah, completely understand. And that's what makes me nervous about AI and music now. With album art, to me, I understand maybe if you have a certain image in mind, but I kind of like the original, like you guys said, with little mistakes and a nuance, excuse me, a nuance of a feel,
We can't be hypocrites because there are some musicians out there, like I said earlier in this interview, they're just doing with what they have, which might be AI for some people.
Sure.
And, we're not any better, we're using a machine, but it's all about what we're trying to express to the world, for sure. But those that do it based off of a complete AI and then they expect to basically benefit off of that financially, that's not the way, man. It has no soul to it.
I think probably the masses are gonna fall to AI, but I don't think the metal community will. I don't think there's ever going to be a time where everybody in the metal community is going to say like, oh, AI is better than a bunch of dudes up on stage sweating their asses off.
Yeah.
I don't think that's ever going to happen. I think the metalheads are going to stay true to what music is.
And it looks a lot different when you guys stand up there with actual instruments and it's not just a computer that you're plugging in. And like you said, I do completely understand drumming and traveling and touring artists, having full-time jobs that they have to work to feed their wives and kids. So I get it, but it's nice to see that what you guys thought about it.
No, for sure.
Yeah, man. I mean, it's like you said, it's a tool. I mean, there's people out there that are like Drake, try not to set that. We can bleep that out later. Using like AI to make their whole song, and they're not like actually like putting themselves in there and they're writing on this technology, and that technology is actually copying a different artist. It's not even like coming up with the idea itself. It's all these other artists put together. You know, I mean, that's like it's pretty grimy, dude. Like that, in that sense, yeah. But I mean, like, also people out there, like I know some bigger bands that are like, hey man, we can't do our shows without our laptops and stuff like that because it does control a lot of the aspects of the show that you guys enjoy. You know what I mean? And it helps us, like, they're still singing, they're still out there, you know, strumming, they're still out there blasting away, but at the same time, it's like those little things, like you're not going to be able to keep like a 50-piece orchestra with you to do a song live, like on the road. Like that's like not feasible. So in that sense, AI is definitely like a great thing. But if you're just using it so that way you can get a quick buck and then, oh, I played this show, got a couple of racks and I'm on the road. I don't know, man. Couldn't be me.
It couldn't be me either, man.
Yeah, I 100% agree. But it's really interesting to see. I'm quite curious to see how AI is going to shape, especially metal, because I think like I'm a lot older than you guys, I think. And I think like old school guys like us won't want to see like the amps go away and the pedal boards and the actual live instrument techniques, you know? It's much different than just like you said, being at like I see like electronica concerts where it's just a guy standing there in front of a MacBook. And to me, it's just not the same experience as a live metal show. I don't understand how you could get a pit going or like any type of energy in the room.
No, we play with a MacBook.
Yeah. I was like, that sounds like somebody.
I mean,
I'm not saying that. I'm saying if you play like just if it's a complete MacBook.
I know what you mean. Like
I know. I'm just kidding. I know what you mean.
I mean, even Solomon King doesn't just use a MacBook. I mean, that guy's a DJ, but he still has like guitars, and he'll still have like other like musicians come out and do stuff with them. So I get what you mean. Like,
yeah, yeah. It doesn't matter like what exactly is going on in the digital realm. Like we try to stay as close to the real thing as possible. Like we're working on mastering our sets so much that we don't even need a MacBook, that we could play it raw and remember every single note.
Wow.
Like I have complete faith in these guys that I'm working with because Barry over here was suffering from like a lung infection and he still showed up to the show.
I was supposed to do backup vocals. I still kind of have it. I'm sure you heard me coughing.
Yeah.
But yeah, I was supposed to do background vocals and wasn't able to do it because I can't take deep breaths.
Yeah, I was gonna say, especially like, you know, you're it's not like you're just slowly strumming a guitar in your music either.
And I don't use a pick on my finger.
Yeah. Don't even get me started. It's the coolest fucking thing. This guy uses his fingernail.
I saw like chicken picks.
Yeah, to literally play a guitar. It like the way he played, like the way that Izzy played, he's using a fucking fingernail. The first time I saw that was the coolest shit ever. Yeah.
There's a lot of strumming in that too. Like it's amazing that your fingernails can hold up to that.
That's my
well, I played in another band too, that same show, Subjugator.
That's crazy, man.
As long as it can last 2 shows, it's all good.
So do you guys have more shows? Like, where are you guys out of? San Diego? How's the San Diego metal scene?
Oh man, the San Diego metal scene is productive as ever. I wish everyone around me so much good, and you know we're all striving for the same thing. Just going forward, we have a festival coming up on September 14th.
I wanted to mention that in your hometown too.
Oh no, it's actually going to be we're still working out the details a little more. Actually, let me pull it up real quick. Yeah, it's called Hammerfest. I'm so excited for this.
Yeah, I saw the other bands on there too. It looks like you're going to have a lot of fans there. You know, I'm not sure how big of a festival it is.
Off of Garnet Avenue in San Diego. Yep. There's going to be so many people, so many vendors. Oh, I'm very excited. Nothing like I've ever done before.
Yeah, that's great. Hopefully you guys will have a huge turnout for it.
Our second show is going to be a festival. I have no idea.
I don't know
how
how
this
we got,
happened, but
yeah,
I'm just like, all right, we ball.
we ball.
Hey, but you know what? That's quick growth, and hopefully, things keep growing like that. Maybe like next month or something, Metallica will open up for you guys or something.
Dude,
I'd be honored.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, who wouldn't,
I hope Slayer comes back from retirement just to open for us. That'd be awesome.
They like go
Yeah.
in and out of retirement every like 3 months, bro.
I love
We're gonna be
Slayer.
fine.
Yeah,
Robert
that was
James.
Gary Holt is my absolute favorite guitarist. And I know every metal purist is gonna just throw hate in my comments now because it's just, he's not Jeff Henneman. But I absolutely love Gary Holt and the Bay Area thrash,
Mhm.
even though they're from LA.
Oh yeah.
Love the music you love, man. Like the guitarist you like, dude. Because at the end of the day, every guitarist has like their opinion. They're going to be a jerk about it. Every metal fan has their opinion. They're going to be a jerk about it. You can never please anybody or everybody.
Yeah. Maybe they'll get a, I don't know, a kumbaya feeling out of these couple festivals they're playing, and maybe they'll get on the road again, or
Yeah.
Maybe.
yeah, maybe they need an opening band in their area to go with them too. So I'm just, if you guys are available to open for Slayer, I'll see if hopefully, something maybe works out.
Take some vacation days for sure.
I mean, I guess.
Yeah, something like
Yeah.
that.
So you guys are all juggling full-time jobs probably in addition to this band and like shows and now festivals, and it's
My bad,
going to be
bro.
a lot of growth. Hopefully, a lot of juggling going on for you guys.
Oh yeah, for sure. I'm an entrepreneur at heart. I'm always trying to find a way to turn things I love into ways that I can make money out of it. I'm always about, like, every day I wake up, I'm like, what can I do for Vaidma today? What can I do for my friends? What can I do to basically form meaningful relationships that might benefit me and my family in the future? I'm all about just forming relationships that are meaningful. I don't like to surround myself with people that don't really have the same values that I have in regards to like forming partnerships. That's why I have so many good friendships around me, so many people that have my best interests at heart, and me for them as well. That's just basically what I consider my profession is, just to form it, form my own world, each relationship at a time. That's what I'm working on.
Sure. And I think you sent me over Heathen God Band. Is
Yep, that's
that's
actually you guys' band.
Izzy's band, right?
Yep.
So yeah, it's cool to see you guys, spreading the love and like building a nice little community over there in San Diego. I'm gonna have to probably get some names of some bands off you and Instagram, and
Yeah,
maybe
for
check it
sure.
out. And
Yeah.
maybe other people should be on Instagram checking out Vaidma. That's where they can find you on both Instagram and on YouTube. I mean, there's videos of their live set, and apparently they're going to play a festival. So I'm sure that'll be on there too. And apparently they're a good band if they're booking, with growth like this. You got to go check them out. I love their stuff. There's something in it for everybody, which is the best part of the metal.
Well, we appreciate that so much. Thank you.
Yeah, so hopefully, like we can get like a full. I'm hoping for a full American tour. Hopefully, some stops in Pittsburgh, so I can gather some friends maybe and come out and support you guys. I'd be so stoked for it. Maybe scoop up some merch off you guys.
Oh man, I appreciate that, Mike. Thank you.
Yeah, yeah. So yeah, I just wish you guys so much luck in the future. But I wanted to ask you guys, what made you pick? I think the song's called "Unanswered" by Suicide Silence. Um, I'll be honest, I've never listened to Suicide Silence before, and no disrespect to them. This was my first time checking out both songs, but I really enjoyed your version much better than theirs. And it's no disrespect.
Thank you so much.
No disrespect to them. I just thought yours had a little bit more melody. I'm sorry.
Thank you.
Well, what basically, me and Barry sat down. We were like, dude, what are we gonna do? Are we just gonna make our own songs? And he's like, well, why don't we cover one? I was like, hey, that's a good idea.
Yeah.
I was like, what about Unanswered by Suicide Silence? He's like, yeah, we can make that happen. So we just basically sat down and we were like, how are we gonna make this like more Vaidma? And me and Barry just cooked some things up, and he came up with some really weird sounds to add in the background. And I just feel like the song itself is so goddamn heavy and ruthless that it really was a challenge for me to go to a place where I was like, how can I make this even more brutal? And without Barry's help, I don't think I could have gotten to that place for sure.
Yeah. Well, it paid off. I mean, it was really heavy. And like I said, I like it better than theirs. Apologies to their fans. I'm sure they won't like that.
Actually interesting. I think the reason that ours sounds the way it does is because when I recorded the bass, I actually intentionally clipped it the entire time. And so it just sounds absolutely disgusting. And then I just like put that at a good volume and it sounds like a chainsaw. So like if you listen to the whole thing, there's just like really nasty bass the entire time.
So next time we're just gonna use a real chainsaw.
Yeah, a real chainsaw.
I saw Paul Gilbert was using like Makita drills on his guitar. So
yeah, dude. Oh man, it's so nuts. I remember watching that as a kid when Ernie Ball came out with the Paradigm line of strings, and they had Paul Gilbert come out with the freaking screwdriver and then take it to the guitar and absolutely destroy it. But the strings were fine, and I'm like, what's the
what the heck?
What's the way to just destroy somebody's rent check right there? And it's like, all right, bro, thanks, man. Just to prove how nice these $10 strings are. Cool. But it was still really sick to watch.
Yeah, and you would dream of like this $3,000 guitar that Paul Gilbert just ruined. So hey, why not bring a chainsaw to the mix? I've seen worse,
That's what the guy from Doom did. Isn't that what he did? He had chainsaws on like the most recent one or something like that.
Yeah.
Pretty sure that's what he did, yeah.
Gotta come up with something new now. But I just started doing. I thought it was cool. I'm gonna just start doing covers on the channel. Some reviews of some cover songs I thought in metal that were really cool. So, do you guys have any more cover songs planned that you guys would like to do, or any other bands you'd like to pay homage to?
We're gonna have to definitely go through our childhood and even like more inspiration for that one. But yeah, I don't see why there wouldn't be some more stuff in the future around that area.
Maybe make a metal version of a song.
Yeah. I have some Prince I like from the 80s, I really like Prince. So maybe like a Prince metal song, like Purple Rain, just metaled out,
Just mess it up.
Yeah. Yeah. But hey, I don't know. Maybe he'd love it because Prince was kind of eclectic. Mm-hmm. So is there a certain message with the new EP, Inured To Chaos? I mean, it was such a killer album. Where can they go to get it? And what is the message that you would like to get to the people?
So I'm just speaking from the heart. Those that are having trouble, in life, just know that, troubled times are not permanent. Everything is temporary, even life is temporary, but definitely ending it in such an abrupt way is not the answer. It never will be the answer. And I don't condone that. No matter even the lyrics that I've put out, in no way do I condone suicide. I'm just making an example that is not the way out. And those that listen to Vaidma, please understand that we make this music for you guys that are struggling with mental health issues. So if you ever need something to listen to, you can find it on all platforms, and we put it there so that you guys could enjoy and take yourselves to a place that's better than the place you're in presently. I kind of get a little flustered and like emotional talking about that.
Sure.
About my art, because I know it definitely came from it was really hard for me to go to that place because of the things that I've seen. And I definitely don't want there to be any of that in the world anymore. So I'm trying to release that from this world by releasing each song at a time.
And that's what I really liked about, even from your first song, Betraying Characteristics, just the impactful lyrics. And what a huge gamble a 9-minute debut song is to release. But it was so melodic and it had such a beauty to it too, that it's not only this dark and deep of like pit of despair, but there's some beauty and some melody and some harmony behind it, and you know, a lot of beauty to it as well. It's pretty cool that you guys can dabble in both the dark and the light, you know, because I think sometimes the darkness helps you embrace the light. And I just think that's an awesome message, and it's awesome that you guys want to spend like your energy creating a whole community, and I just think that's really cool.
I guess my favorite quote from what you just said, the darkness with the light. My favorite quote from Corey Taylor, the front man of Slipknot, is like, "The darkness is not a place I live; it's a place I visit." And that lived with me for so long. The first time I heard that, and I definitely visit that place so that I could benefit from it. So just use your demons to your advantage, for sure.
Hey, we're running out of time. I want to take my I really want to thank you I've been working with you now over several singles, and now this EP, Inured To Chaos, that you can find on all streaming platforms, and I'll put the links in the comments in the description. I have a feeling we're going to be having more of these chats, and I really enjoyed it today, and I want to thank you guys sincerely for you know, working with me and having this talk and taking time out of your schedule, which sounds busy as hell, to even take the time out to meet with me. So I thank you. I really enjoyed it.
Yeah, we really think, you know, everything that you've offered our way, like in regards to reviewing all of our material and even going as far as to inviting us on just to have a chat with you about you know, our art and music. You got anything to say, Nevsky Skema?
All right, awesome.
Yeah. Yeah, awesome. So whatever you guys, you know.
He only speaks Russian.
Yeah.
Hey, that's okay. Do you guys understand Russian?
He does.
Yeah, he does.
He does. This is important.
That's all. As long as you got riffs, I mean, it doesn't matter really.
Yep.
Yeah.
Vaidma's actually Vaidma's actually a Russian word. It actually means witch.
Yeah. And we just
Okay. Yeah, I wanted to ask you that, but I just kind of got lost in the conversation.
We got the name from Nevsky Skema over here.
Hey, that's a pretty awesome name.
Hmm.
Well, thanks for the clarification too, because I did want to ask you that. I just didn't get to it.
No, that's all good.
But I wish you guys a lot of luck, especially with this festival, and maybe after the festival, I'll reach back out and maybe we can get together and you can let me know how the festival was.
Oh, yeah, for sure, man.
Absolutely.
Absolutely.
Awesome, guys. Thanks a lot. I really appreciate you taking the time out, and I'll be reaching out to you guys soon. Thanks.
All right, have a good one, Mike.